If you're a knife nerd like us, you're always trying to figure out what grit of stone should I finish sharpening my knife on. Well, we came across this really cool post on Reddit that talked about the relationship between what grit you finish sharpening your knife on and how it relates to the overall performance and edge retention of that knife. Nobody asked us, but here's our thoughts. The first point that we'll talk about is that you can polish your knife to too high a grit such that it skates across a tomato skin rather than going into the tomato skin. In our mind, this is false. Wrong. If this is your experience, there's likely some issues with your sharpening technique. In our experience, the higher a grit you polish your knife to, the easier it will be to enter into an ingredient. Whether it's a tube of paper or a tomato, polishing your knife to a really high grit is going to make it easier to start your cut. The next thing that people were arguing about was how this high polish affects your edge retention. Some were saying that it makes it better for edge retention, some were saying that it makes it worse for edge retention, and there was a whole ton of back and forth about different steel types, Rockwell hardnesses, angles, all sorts of stuff. We would agree that there are optimal conditions for all of the aforementioned variables, but if we take a very general view of the situation, it's our experience that if you finish sharpening your knife on a 1000 grit stone or lower, it may not feel quite as sharp, but it will maintain that level of sharpness for longer when compared to a knife that's sharpened at a very high grit polish. But we want to know what you think. Leave us a comment down below letting us know what grit you finish sharpening your knife at.